Taking a glance, He Fan was still asleep, and Lu Dongyan carefully slipped out of his embrace. The moment I stepped out again, that sense of stability vanished. The uneasiness swirled around Lu Dongyan once again. After all, the results will be out today. In fact, one's own is not important. It has basically been determined to be the awakened horizon. He just wants to see that He Fan's report is good, and then everything will be settled. This uneasy feeling made Lu Dongyan very uncomfortable. The closer it gets to the report's release time, the more uneasy I feel. Only when seeing He Fan's face can it be alleviated. But we agreed that I must make breakfast for He Fan every day, so I have to stick to it. The sound of the camera shutter clicks. Lu Dongyan took out the new camera that He Fan bought for him and snapped a photo of He Fan's sleeping face. Then, feeling satisfied, she took it to the kitchen. Place the phone on the kitchen counter so you can see it anytime. I am really smart. Xiao Liu praised herself generously in her heart. Tying on the apron, ready to make breakfast. Today, we're making giant mingguozi with He Fan. He didn't plan to make the same food every day as that would reduce the freshness. So, in deciding why Fan makes breakfast every day, from that moment on, preparations had already begun. There won't be any wait for at least a month. Add some 5-spice powder to the mung bean flour. Pour in clean water and stir into a batter set aside for later use. Heat a layer of oil in the frying pan. Then spread the batter out, flatten it. The batter will become like a pancake after preheating. Take an egg and crack it on your forehead. Crack the egg onto the batter pancake and spread it out. Sprinkle some scallions and sesame seeds on top. Authentic giant mingguozi. The crunchy stuff inside is mostly fruit ice. Lu Dongyan uses the land of fragrant wood. Fried dough sticks often eaten. Then place the sliced luncheon meat on top. Roll it up and then cut it in the middle. Giant mingguozi completed. The bright morning light streamed in through the kitchen window, falling into the fawn, lightly leaving the nest. The captivating smile. He Fan, who has been quietly watching at the kitchen door, but could not help but step forward, gently embrace it from behind. The fragrance above the fever of deep embroidery. He Fan's drowsiness was instantly dispelled. "Hello, you finally woke up." The girl trembled slightly because she was too focused on making breakfast. No one noticed He Fan watching from behind. "Not long after you wake up." "I just woke up." He Fei chuckled lightly, actually before he woke up. "I'm already awake." Immediately took out the camera. Show Lu Dongyan the photos just taken. That was his serious back while making breakfast. "No matter how I look at it, I like it." "Why are you hitting me?" Lu Dongyan saw the clear image from the camera. Her cheeks are like little red apples, although it's just the back of a reporter's apron. But what embarrassed him was not the image, but rather He Fan's act of taking a photo of himself. "If you want to do it with me every day, then I'll take your picture every day." He Fan chuckled and pinched the girl's cheek. "Make breakfast for yourself every day." He couldn't imagine a more beautiful scene than this. Not wanting to miss a single day. "But I'll make you breakfast. I just want you to be able to sleep for a while longer. Waking up means I can eat my fill. You don't need to wake up so early again." Lu Dongyan was plating the pancakes. "Even if you wake up early, you can still have a full meal." He Fan and Lu Chui took a bite of the girl's chubby face. Burped in the dress. "I'm so full." "I see you are well fed and content." The little dear shyly tapped He Fan's arm, heading out to the kitchen for breakfast. He Fan followed out. He picked up the pancake roll and took a bite. Crispy and crunchy explode in the stomach. Squinting his eyes, he looked thoroughly content. Before, He Fan never ate so clumsily. It all started with Lu Dongyan's sudden leap in culinary skills. He Fan's expressions while eating gradually became more vivid. It's not that I've never eaten something this delicious before. First, there is the Cypher buff enhancement. This alone makes them virtually unbeatable. Moreover, Lu Dongyan's culinary skills have improved significantly. You can feel it in just a few days. Set a new goal. In such circumstances, it's easy to become foolishly indulgent. The girl giggled as she watched He Fan eat, a smile so sweet it can enter and exit sugarcane juice. No need for excessive praise. Action is the best interpretation. Suddenly she thought of something. A soft hum. Don't you also eat one bite after another? Will just say me. He Fan paused for a moment. Oh no, she caught him off guard. Treat others generously while being strict with oneself. He Fan never does. Since we need to guide her well, one cannot have double standards. Thus, He Fan asked honestly, I made a foul, so you can choose to punish me. This is what you said. Let me think it over. How should I punish you? The girl laughed lightly like a little devil. He Fan didn't take it to heart. Others belong to oneself. What other punishments can there be? Getting something for free is only a matter of time. At breakfast, the girl finally decided on the punishment. Is the punishment I give you. Today, driving to the hospital is not allowed. Cannot take the bus either. You have to keep it a secret from me. Of course, we can take breaks along the way. What did you just say? Sooner or later, it will be given for free. Sooner or later, it will be given for free. Hasn't this just begun? He Fan really couldn't admit it. Carrying him on your back is also a form of punishment. Isn't it a kind of enjoyment? As for the hardships, that's all fake. The car has a portable gas station. What's so hard about it? Clearly, the girl also thinks today's weather is quite pleasant. It is a crisp and clear autumn day. There is no such intense sun. And the rental house is not very far from the hospital. Walking talk, the journey took no more than half an hour. Walking, He Fan squatted down, spoke to the girl. Lu Dongyan smiled sweetly, lying on He Fan's back, in his profile, took a bite, soft and mellow voice. You've worked hard. Not hard, not hard. He Fan felt the pressure brought by the rations. Walking on the street with great satisfaction, carrying Lu Dongyan for 10 minutes. This was He Fan's general physical ability in the past. Of course, it's not the limit. Never knew. What is the limit? Today, He Fan found out. Limitations of oneself. It is infinite. Let's take a break. He Fan, I'm doing okay. Not possible. You can't do it anymore. Sure, I can still do it. He Fan's eyes were filled with contention. In order to refuel, I can face any challenge, even mountains of knives and seas of fire. The girl looked at him. He Fan's cheeks were covered in sweat. I regret it deeply. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have said anything. This little bug has been punished. It was just a joke. I didn't expect He Fan to really be with me all the way. None of them ever stopped. We're almost at the hospital entrance. Almost half an hour. He Fan was stunned for a moment. Never stopped. What is it? Supporting him. Is it a dream? Is it responsibility? None of them are. Pure-hearted, just to enjoy the refueling service. You might get heat stroke like that. It's okay. The hospital is just ahead. The HMPH. I won't fuel you anymore. The small path twists and turns upward. Put on the white shoes. This is simply quenching thirst with poison. He is afraid it will continue like this. Ifan might really suffer from heat stroke, although the weather isn't as hot as before. But it never dropped below 30 degrees. Uh, I can't do it anymore. Ifan immediately stopped in his tracks, put Lu Dongyan down, gasping heavily while sitting on a bench by the roadside, looking like they are about to collapse. This moment, Ifan just found out. One's limits are not infinite. It depends on whether Lu Dongyan refuels. Ifan, whose stamina is somewhat depleted, with one hand propping up my knee, one hand on the waist. I feel completely out of sorts. Lu weighs 55 kilograms. This is not a joke. Take a sip of water. Lu Dongyan came from the nearby store, bought a bottle of ice water, handed it to Ifan. I saw him looking somewhat dejected. Tuya lightly pursed her lips, as if making some monumental decision. Next time, you will definitely be able to. Persist for half an hour. No, it can be done in an hour. I will make you succeed. Trust me. Xiaolu had a serious expression. No dieting allowed. 4 characters. The determination that the young girl just made, shattered in an instant. For complete understanding, Hu is sweet and salty brain. I know exactly what he's thinking right now. So, right at that moment, break through and stop it. Weight loss, only in cases of extreme obesity, only needs. Want to be healthy. Keep your weight stable, is the most important. Overweight and underweight, there is no benefit to the body at all. For the sake of so-called beauty and figure, go to Meng for weight loss. Crazy muscle gain, it's a form of not cherishing oneself. Beauty is also good. Body shape is fine. As time goes by, we will gradually grow old. Although, to be in the brief, best years of life, show the best version of yourself. But if it leads to poor health, is that still the best version of yourself? Because of her beautiful appearance, the people who are drawn in. Ultimately, we will leave because of the disappearance of beauty. Furthermore, Yuo is not fat at all. Although it has been some time since I first met Ifan, gained 7 kilograms. But he was a bit thinner back then. After all, Lu Dongyan is quite tall. It's entirely because I didn't eat properly. That's why you're so thin. Not only is dieting forbidden, you should eat well. Meat, eggs, and dairy cannot be lacking at all. He fan-pinched the chubby cheeks of the young girl, said with a serious expression, "The pig has arrived." Yuo obediently agreed, immediately tilted his head. "But if I'm this fat then, what will you do if you can't? First, you're not fat. Secondly, even if it means holding on for an hour, I should also exercise more diligently. Make yourself stronger, instead of making you lose weight. All right, let's go to the hospital. The test results should be out now," Ifan said. "Stand up," leading Lu Dongyan towards the hospital. The girl immediately became anxious again. The closer we get to the outcome, the more anxious I become. If it weren't for some mundane ties, she has long been unable to do so. Open the bottle cap. Ifan's leftover water. Finish pouring it all in. The girl feels herself once again infused with energy. Go take a look. Yuopion cast a spell of poverty. Gained the courage. What originally frightened her, faint smell of disinfectant, has also become insignificant. When the two arrived at the inspection department, the results are out. Lu Dongyan's courage, not yet exhausted. He suddenly grabbed it and took a look. Her little mouth immediately broke into a smile. A sweet smile emerges as she leaves the nest. She didn't even go to see her own, only concerned about Hifan's outcome. He fan, you're doing just fine. Zio Luoqiang stood on tiptoe, holding the result in both hands, delivering it to Wang Hifan, a heart in suspense. Finally let go. You are just lightweight too. Just a small problem. Hifan patted her head, said with a smile, regarding one's own results. Hifan is aware, so she has never been nervous. Otherwise, they will definitely be very anxious. After all, if both sides have a horizon, even if it's slight, that baby could also be medium-sized, even heavy. However, but there is still a 50% chance, inherited by the baby, the case of the young girl's expression, although being a mother is still far away for now, but she has already embraced this identity. Don't want to give my baby, bringing even a little bit of trouble. What does it matter? Is it possible in the future our baby will inherit it? Do we not like her any more? Of course not. The fawn shook its head like a wave drum. Then that would be fine. Hifan pinched her cheek. Soft voice. Haven't you become clear-headed? Now I know. But today I still like you more than yesterday. Liking someone. It includes all defects regardless of size. As long as it starts. Just can't stop. She did not follow the words of the optimists. Go to comfort Lu Dongyan, because she knows Lu Dongyan is not a very optimistic person. Tell her why you don't think about the good outcome. There isn't a 50% chance. Will not. Is it hereditary? Similar words like this. It is meaningless. If she could control what she thinks, that's not good. Let's not mention Lu Dongyan. How many people can control their own thoughts? So, I can only foresee bad outcomes. Come as a starting point. Come tell her. It's no big deal. And admit, this is indeed a small flaw. But the reality is, this defect did not change oneself. My fondness for her will not let the future baby either, missing even a tiny bit of love. I understand. The little dear nodded. The clouds in my heart completely dissipate. You can go and see. You can go to school now, preparing for military training. It's still the same thing. Suozai kui LV. Dietary considerations during menstruation. Exercise more. There won't be any problems. The chief doctor had an affectionate smile. She has never seen it before. A boy so young, able to understand and be considerate of others like this. As a well-informed adult, most people don't take their teenage love seriously. It's not that I don't know the beauty of Zio Kai, just more clearly, cannot withstand the test of time. So, yesterday, Lu Dongyan asked Hifan, when doing genetic testing as well. The doctor was somewhat surprised. But today it seems this boy is indeed quite impressive. Perhaps this pair can really accomplish it. The successful transformation from school uniform to wedding dress. It's not impossible either. The sky is clear and the air is crisp. Hifan and Lu Dongyan, in an exceptionally good mood, out of the hospital. Hifan suddenly took a puff of the girl's chubby cheeks. There is no reason. I just feel so good that I want to nibble on her. Little dear. Mo Dingy certificate. No sneak attacks allowed. The girl shyly scolded Hifan. Every time it startles me. Still cannot taste it carefully. Can only savor as much as possible. So bad. Then I will launch a strong attack. Hifan reached out with a big hand. Grabbed the girl's wrists. Lift above your head. Chewy Shu is just a membrane. Why are you like this? At the hospital entrance, the girl stamped her foot. Her cheeks were like boiling teapots. This is the place with the highest foot traffic. But she didn't care at all. If I were at home, it won't stop there." He Fan gently took the girl's hand. "There's no way. Only in this way can I express the joy in my heart. Live this life to the fullest. Why was the initial thought to break up? Is it because you don't like it? If that's really the case, they must have already broken up a long time ago. Where would I go to care about Lu Dongyan? What is the state of mind in He Fan's heart? Her importance. It has never changed. The reason I want to break up, it is because of the fear of anything. Nothing can change. Everything repeats itself again. Ultimately, we torment each other, causing each other pain. But with another opportunity to be together, He Fan finally discovered she can be changed. Over the past few months, the personality of a girl, at a speed visible to the naked eye, continuously improving, until now the young lady lost her last chance. He Fan could almost be certain she will not become her past self. The scariest thing. Finally, it can be avoided. How can one not be happy? The little deer lowered its gaze slightly, being led forward, lingering in the heart. He Fan's words just now. At home, it's not just that. What else can be done? My head is spinning. I don't know where I've arrived. Until I saw the long line, just came back to my senses. Led by He Fan, arrived at the Beauty Tea House. It's already the third day since the opening. The foot traffic has not decreased. Instead, it only increased even more. He Fan was taken aback by such a scene, very satisfied. Actually now, then we can open a branch. She just asked Mo Yinyan. The revenue for the first day. It has reached 1 million. Of course. Didn't they say they would sell 100,000 cups of tea? Then it can. This is too exaggerated. More than 5,000 people have obtained membership cards. One card costs 200 yuan. When you think about it this way, just the first day's revenue, reaching a seven-digit number. The next day dropped straight down. However, it reached around 300,000. The words of the third day, nearly 100,000. In short, the data is only 3 days old. Still cannot reference the average value. Only know that the business is extremely booming. From the perspective of sales volume, about 5,000 cups each day. Such a massive amount of sales. In the afternoon of the first day, I can't hold on any longer. Fortunately, it's morning. Mo Yunyan had this premonition, prepared in advance. I was just stunned. That day they called again. More than 10 sisters helping out. This is years of immersion in the benefits of an industry. The qualifications have been released. Even if I am still just an employee, he also has a good network of connections. Those sisters who came after seeing the treatment here, almost everyone chose to stay. Thank you for your hard work these past 3 days. This is a small token of my appreciation. Celebrating our successful opening, He Fan took more than 20 prepared red envelopes, waiting for Mo Yunyan during their lunch break, sending them one by one. It contains 880 pieces of money. Only Mo Yunyan is 909. This extra bit, it can also stand out. The manager's status. It won't let him. Much taller than the other sisters. Causing hidden resentment. Thank you, boss. Under the leadership of Mo Yunyan, everyone laughed and accepted the red envelopes. The pay for this job is too good. Not only is the salary high, benefits are good. There can still be red envelopes. I will announce another benefit. After work every day, they can all be found at the barbecue stall across the street. Feel free to shop at the store. I will take care of the bill later. He Fan's words. Another major bombshell. Working hard all day. By evening, enjoy a delicious free barbecue meal. How wonderful this is! Long live the boss. Mo Yunayan continues to lead. A group of female employees shouted. He Fan smiled. Is he considered generous among the bosses? Of course it counts. But in reality, this expense, compared to income, it really doesn't matter. Seeing the employees work so hard every day, it feels like we aren't being given better treatment. All feel guilty in their hearts. Perhaps it's just this mindset caused him not to. It's also not suitable to be a big boss on the path of business, relying on the insights and experiences from my past life. As long as it brings a comfortable life, that's enough. He doesn't have the mindset for that. There is no means to manage it either. Yandai Cheu branches. Things now starting. Then we can have a great business. But He Fan still decided we need to implement some hunger marketing, although he himself was subjected to hunger marketing. When it becomes disgusting, it is very shameful. But now that it's come to this point, we have to do it, no matter what. Lan, 3 months later, open a new branch. Thus, just as you expected. There are many merchants looking to request a franchise for opening a branch. The price offered is also quite astonishing, but all according to your request. All of them were rejected. Mo Yunayan said, I heard that, boss. It's already reached 10 million. Then that one was even harsher. They said it was going to be an exclusive partnership, opening a home, starting a business with 30 million. Employee sisters. Clearly, they have heard about it too. Very shocking. Such a number. For them, there is no longer any concept. No matter if they are willing to pay. How much is the franchise fee? I don't want any of it. He Fan emphasized again. Thus, I understand. Only we can create our own brand. Only then can perfect quality be guaranteed. Furthermore, we have such high popularity. There's no need to join a franchise at all. That set is for collecting money. As time passes, the reputation will continue to improve. The boss is wise. Mo Yunayan is analyzing. Still don't forget to praise He Fan a bit. However, this is exactly it. He Fan's thoughts. Mo Yunayan can tell. It is indeed true. Thorough understanding of milk tea franchise stores. For this, He Fan felt Uncle's insight is truly exceptional. The person who came did not have a pit outside. To repay him, we must intensify Zioyu's tutoring. Yan Yan, accompany me to choose a location this afternoon. He Fan led Lu Dongyan, exited the milk tea shop. Although we don't have any branches open yet, but after all, it's something on the agenda. No more than 3 months. It's time to start preparing. What else needs to be renovated? Ifan, where to go? No need to ask me anymore. Zio Yuo's adorable fingers, twisting He Fan's heavy palm. Raise your little head, softly murmuring, I have no direction. As long as you hold my hand, anywhere is fine. Looking at his delicate face, dizzy in the sunlight, Runain knows everything. He Feng pouted. Your sense of direction is quite strong. But the girl tilted her head. He Fan chuckled lightly. No response. Can accurately find the direction of the new gate. Every frown and smile, all rushed into their hearts. Is this what you call being directionless? It's just that these words are spoken. It's a bit too greasy. Driving to land in Dongyan. Selecting locations in various districts of the provincial capital. In this regard, Lu Dongyan indeed had no suggestions. Talent does not lie here. Daoshi He Fan, being able to rely on one's foresight. What do you know? Undeveloped places. It will become prosperous in the future. Every district always has the place to be built, not planned for the time being. The price won't be very high. At this moment, the shop was already cheap. The price hasn't reached the takeoff point yet. To summarize, Ifan's chosen addresses in each district. From now on, prices will increase tenfold or more. Just one afternoon, Ifan has made the decision. Selection of locations for 10 branches, a total of about 300 square meters. Clearly, the branch doesn't have the same flair as the main store. All of them are small shops around 30 square meters. The average unit price is around 4,000. At this price, take down the shop, even if it just sits there, doing nothing. Wait for 10 years. The price can also increase tenfold. Right now, Hefan has funds on hand. That's enough for a full payment. Let's take over these shops. He certainly knows. With one's own assets, you can use leverage to make a purchase, but it's just in their nature. Hefan just doesn't like the feeling of being in debt, even knowing that I can pay it back. Not willing either. Hefan is very self-aware, according to one's own personality and methods. None are suitable for doing business. So, relying on the foresight of the money market to acquire wealth that is sufficient for a lifetime, that's enough. He is neither enthusiastic. I also don't have this talent and ability, nurtured in the ocean of capital. After the site selection is completed, Ifan contacted Fang Zai again. I briefed him on the address of the branch. Have him help start the buzz on the local forum. Fang Zai truly has a talent for marketing. Just 5 minutes later, another post has appeared on the forum. Unable to Baidu to poor communication. Good news. The branch store is in preparation. Where is it open? Some netizens have decided. This is a voting post. Fang Zai will oversee all the districts where the branches are located. They all put it up. Who can vote 3 times every day? As long as we vote every day, anticipation will continue to build. Plus, there's Fang Zai, the leader of the water army. There is not 100 in hand. There are also 80 numbers. All the votes are given to the districts with fewer votes. Can create a scene of intense struggle and attachment. Ifan found out afterward. I'm happy to just give him an extra chicken leg. Tonight, I will still sleep in the rental apartment. The military training starts tomorrow. There's no need to check today. On the way home, bought sunscreen products together with Lu Dongyan. Actually, just 2 things. Sunscreen to apply before military training, and the hydrating mask after military training. I'm going to cook. You've had a long day. Go take a break. Wait for the meal to be served. Lu Dongyan tied his apron. Carrying the ingredients bought on the way home, went to the kitchen. Ifan, however, followed closely behind. While the girl was washing vegetables, he hugged her from behind. Her chin brushed against her hair. What's going on? Don't disturb me while I'm cooking. The girl spoke while warming up, although I really enjoy being held by her. But this way, I don't even have the strength to wash the vegetables. You look great in an apron. Ifan whispered. She didn't know why either. I just want to be close to her. It's the perspective of a couple who have been married for over 10 years. But it is still full of freshness. I like her more every day than I did yesterday. It's not just empty words. What's so appealing about an apron? Oh dear, don't be a hindrance. Otherwise, dinner should be a late-night snack. Lu Dongyan raised his hand. Washing lettuce. threatening with puffed cheeks. Her voice was as sweet as honey. Good-looking, he Fan confidently said. It would be better to wear only an apron. Um, I'll go out first. Let it slip. Hurry and run. Otherwise, the blushing pufferfish. I'm going to grab the spatula and hit someone. But even if today I get beaten up by Xiao Lu, he Fan still won't change his opinion. He is a person who speaks based on facts. Seeing is believing. After all, I've seen it with my own eyes. How could that be fake? It's time to eat. Xiao Lu deliberately took off the apron. Kai brought the dishes out from the kitchen. Otherwise, I recall what he Fan said. It just feels strange. The thoughts have all turned crooked. Have a taste. Sweet and sour spare ribs, cold dressed okra, winter melon and scallop soup. Delicious. He Fan was serving rice. Admiring on one side, "You haven't eaten yet." The girl pouted. Such praise is too perfunctory. Not sincerely at all. What's wrong with not eating? Good food values color, fragrance, a feast of flavors. I have already sensed the first two. As for the final flavor, is the dish you made? At this point, do we need to doubt? Ifan said seriously. All right, all right. Logic Basu. Eat quickly. Lu Dongyan gave him a disdainful glance. But inside, it felt sweet and pleasant. This feeling of unconditional trust. It's really good, He Fan said seriously. He Fan was just about to indulge in a feast. Suddenly thought of something. He started eating bite by bite. Lu Dongyan with a mischievous smile. The smile suddenly froze. Ben Dowdu is contemplating the punishment project. As a result, He Fan realized it. He Fan, hey, I'm eating. The girl suddenly shouted. Hello, I am savoring every bite. There was no foul. He Fan pouted, not agreeing. Who says this is a punishment? I did not commit a foul yesterday. This is the reward I want. Lu Dongyan raised his little head. Very boastful. I felt quite anxious all day yesterday. I completely forgot about the reward. Now I just remember. That little wish hasn't been used yet. Are you sure you want to use the small wish like this? Sure. Anyway, there's a small wish that can be used every day, Lu Dongyan said, sitting down at the computer desk to start playing games. I've been too busy these days. The little words of the Starry Night have fallen. Tomorrow we begin military training. There is even less time to play. He Fan brought all the dishes to the computer desk. Using Lu Dongyan's cartoon spoon, scoop up a spoonful of rice. Put it in his mouth. A grain of rice accidentally stuck to the corner of my mouth. Just scrape it up with a spoon. It's like feeding the cubs. Big. My small wishes for each day in the future. It's all you who fed me. The girl is playing a game. Said with a smile, HMPH. You should first be able to eat seriously. Let's talk about it only if we don't break the rules every day. He Fan scooped a spoonful of winter melon and scallop soup, gently blowing away. It was delivered to Lu Dongyan's lips. Said, Baka He Fan, every meal is you feeding me. How could that possibly be a foul? Lu Dongyan chuckled. The flute plays a clear tone. Drink all the soup from the spoon. Didn't expect that, huh? I got caught up in it. He Fan, this point. It seems I really didn't think of that. I unexpectedly got caught in the loop of the little deer, originally meant to educate while entertaining, so that he can enjoy every meal properly. But now it has evolved into, I have to feed him every day. Are you just hanging around here? He Fan decided to fix the program. We need to patch him up. Lift a spoonful of rice. Sent into the little deer's mouth. While he was playing a game, while chewing, take advantage of the moment. Before he had swallowed it, he scooped up another spoonful, sent it to his mouth. The malevolent he fan, want to force the little deer to foul. HMPH. The clever little deer kept its mouth tightly closed. Lewican is full of smiles, even though I'm playing a game. But there is not the slightest relaxation. When discovering game vulnerabilities, he guessed it. He fan will find a way to fix it. I want to be forced to commit a foul. That's impossible. But the little deer did not realize. The spoon can refuse. But some things, he is a love-struck person. Unrefusable. He fans delicate cheeks. In his line of sight, touch the ground and enlarge. The mouth instinctively opened. Chur. In a brief moment of suffocation, the rice has already been delivered to the girl's mouth. Okay. You committed a foul. He fan is elegant. Continue without committing a crime. This is yesterday's reward. Today is gone. And because of the foul, still need to be punished once more. How can it be like this? You are being unreasonable. I won't be lazy anymore from now on. No, not possible. The little deer blurted out, realizing that they have been trapped again, unintentionally lowering the eyelids. Her cheeks were as radiant as those of a virgin martyr. Anyway, it's been said. The young girl boldly gathered her courage. Your rabbit teeth are actually, if you could always be shameless. I can keep breaking the rules too. No amount of punishment matters. Lu Dongyan, I have already figured it out. Sooner or later, it will be given for free. Punishments and such. Whatever you want. I miss you. He fan lightly tapped the girl's forehead. Begin in earnest. No mistakes. After dinner, Lu Dongyan is about to get up to wash the dishes, but was held down by He fan on the shoulder. Set back down in the computer chair. Play your game. The military training has begun. You just want to play. I have no strength left. He fan spoke without further ado, carried the bowl and chopsticks to the kitchen, closed the door. College is great for bringing a laptop. But Lu Dongyan, no matter how addicted to the internet he is, it's time to study. Still won't be ambiguous. This can also be considered He fan's discovery over the past few months. When he first started using a computer, I thought this child, I'm going to become a complete internet addiction girl. The result was discovered, actually playing on the computer, in all his matters. It is very low, especially when knowing, after taking care of the body, not even a day, staying up late to play on the computer. So, time to fully enjoy ourselves. It's not too much. He let him play a little longer. Military training is very exhausting. Experienced it in a past life. He fan was very clear. The feeling of being scorched under the sun. In summary, Xiao Lu is about to face a lot of hardships. If you have time now, play more. He fan, isn't military training very tiring? Nighttime. Lu Dongyan nestled in He fan's embrace. Whispers softly. It is a bit tough, but definitely within the bearable range. Just right. You should also exercise. It all started with military training. Develop the habit of exercising. He fan gently strokes the girl's hair, whispering in his ear, "Shut. With you by my side." Xiao Lu is not afraid of hardship. Lu Dongyan's small head, He fan gently nuzzled against her lips. Weak voice. He filled it out. It's also the Department of Chinese Literature. Same department, same class as He fan. As for future employment, and so on. The major is teaching, since we're in the same field. That definitely cannot be handed over to a single class. But that doesn't matter. because the two of them never thought that far ahead. After all, everyone has tried their best to get into the same school. Then, naturally, they will choose the same class. Why isn't it hard for you in the same class as me? The sun won't shine any differently just because I'm here. It just became a bit cooler. Fan asked humorously. He can remember. During military training in a past life, that big sun was always hanging overhead. Of course, in his previous life, he didn't attend the same school as Lu Dongyan. There are plenty of trees providing shade around the teacher's training ground. Perhaps it should be him. It's much better than Fan's previous school, at least Lu Dongyan's sunburn. It was during their honeymoon that Fan discovered it. However, there is also a possibility. I got sunburned during military training too, but Fan didn't know. After all, back then, he doesn't pay any attention to his health at all. The military training is not at the same school. A week has passed. We've hardly met a few times. Fan is not as meticulous as he is now. It's normal not to notice sunburn. It's really not hard, is it? It's like you're carrying me on your back. I can just bump against you and become your little fuel tank. But you are even more amazing. Even better. Just a glance at me. I was filled with energy. Young girl. The young girl praised without holding back. Even Fan felt embarrassed. The lights are off. Take a deep breath on the chubby left cheek of the little deer, gently stroking the girl's hair, holding her tightly. You can't do that. I didn't do anything. It's just holding you purely and innocently. Feeling the girl's face flush, Fan was taken aback. The air conditioning is set to quite a low temperature. Angning, I am used to your embrace. If I am not held by you, you will suffer from insomnia, Lu Dongyan said timidly. After all, we have to sleep in the dormitory later. When you're insomnia, surely thinking of me. Insomnia, I can also suffer from insomnia. What about me? Surely thinking of you too. In this way, insomnia doesn't seem too bad either. Fan chuckled lightly. Just know how to coax me. The little deer nuzzled against Fan's chest. Her cheeks were like small teapots boiling over. Held it in for quite a while. Summoned immense courage. In a barely audible voice, weakly nan Fan. My relative has passed away. I'm going all out. Sooner or later, it will be given for free. It's better to give early than late. Feeling the trembling little body, she was taken aback. The little deer of this life, much braver than in the previous life. You need to know. Both sides may see things differently. For Fan, an old couple, everything is normal. Lu Dongyan disagrees. She wholeheartedly believes in Fan. Only then will there be such great courage. Tomorrow is military training. Fan gently patted the girl's tank top, once again hanging down. Took another deep breath of the girl's chubby right cheek. Sleep well. Good night. Dear baby. Good night. The girl spoke with a sense of relief, although nothing happened. But still feel the relationship has taken a big step forward, and things that haven't happened in reality. Yet in a sweet dream, unexpected encounter, one day leisurely, one morning, Lu Dongyan felt grateful for the first time, being able to remember dreams. There are two sides to every story, when only having nightmares. I just wish I could have amnesia, but now you can start dreaming sweet dreams. I just hope to remember forever that sweet taste. Take out the ribs that were meant to be eaten for dinner. Lu Dongyan made a decision. Today's breakfast should be a bit more lavish. As the young girl wielded the knife to chop the ribs, Fan also woke up. He came to her side with a camera, taking advantage of Lu Dongyan. The moment she tucked her hair behind her ear, gently pressed the shutter. Seeing the gentle little deer in the photo, Fan nodded in satisfaction. Looks good, right? My wife is definitely beautiful. Fan's words, causing the girl's cheeks to flush slightly. What kind of daughter-in-law is this? Neither a title nor a status. There is no substance. Why are you making spare ribs so early in the morning? Immediately, Fan suddenly realized. Today's breakfast, isn't this a bit too lavish? Spare ribs count as a main dish. It's rare to have this for breakfast. At least in the land of the lake. Is rare. Autumn has arrived. Need to replenish for autumn. Do you know? Lu Dongyan begins to slice the lotus root. Don't always keep patching things up. I don't need it at all, Fan said. Also, by the way, embroidered a pair of biceps. Today is a supplement for myself. Lu Dongyan, the young scholar Nanan. Start washing the dried red dates. Fan was taken aback. What? Nothing much. Oh dear. Don't be a nuisance in the kitchen. Quick, let's go out. The girl pushed Fan's back. Get him out of the kitchen. Today's photo shoot is done. Fan finished all his work for the morning. You are not allowed to stay here any longer. Fan returned to the room. Develop the recently taken photos. This is the machine he specifically bought. Being able to develop photos at home. Then put it in the diary album. Sorry, I can't assist with that. Today's diary. As for the content of the diary, this is a record of today's breakfast. Sai Yin Ran Zhao Tan. It's a very simple sentence. Finished writing. The monk's cover reads, The Breakfast Journal of the Fawn. Diary album. Take it well. Not long after. Zai Yin Ran makes soup, also served on the dining table. Eat up. Lu Dongyan first left a bowl for Fan. Then serve yourself, sitting upright at the dining table, sipping the soup slowly. The beautiful apricot colored for slightly squints. Clearly, it was due to their own cooking skills. For the stunning. But they weren't in a hurry to eat. The mini-game is still ongoing. Harmonizing with Lu Dongyan to exchange military training camouflage uniforms. By the way, it seems like you fouled yesterday. I have already thought of the punishment. Fan was changing clothes. Bayan said to Lu Dongyan, Rascal. The fawn pouted. Immediately raised its little head. Mo Dai saw the belt in Fan's hand. Take a deep breath. Gently lowering her gaze. Xing Mao gently closed her eyes. Trembling voice said, Please. Please punish me. Fan untied the belt. Take out the sunscreen. My punishment is, today you are not allowed to apply sunscreen yourself. As clever as I am. Your punishment. It can also become a reward for oneself. Lu Dongyan opened his eyes adorably. What are you doing? I'm not satisfied with the punishment. Of course. There is no dissatisfaction. The girl felt dissatisfied beneath her delicate eyelids. The whispering sin-bearer. That's good. Take off your shoes. I'm going to apply sunscreen now. Fan was serious. Lu Dongyan raised his head. It's another cute, dazed little expression. Who puts sunscreen on their feet? Yes. The young girl sighed softly. Another expression of helplessness on their face. Fingers hooked on the edge of the shoe. It was just Fan playfully pinching my cheeks. I stretched out my arm. Childish ghost. Lu Dongyan lightly waved the gray powder circle. Extend the pale white arm straight forward and squeeze some sunscreen on the counter. He started to apply it evenly. Then came the neck stiffness. Base. Behind the ear. In short, There are places that camouflage cannot cover. Everyone has applied sunscreen. We can't let him have even the slightest chance of getting sunburned. After finishing up, it's almost 7:30. The military training starts at 8 o'clock. We need to gather at the venue by 7:30. Although the two were in a rented room, but it's very close to the school. I headed straight to school after leaving the house. It's less than a 10-minute journey. There are already quite a few students at the venue. There are about 30 students in the class. So the military training is divided evenly according to each department, even though it's one class, but not necessarily in the same formation. For example, Fan and Lu Dongyan, none of them were in the same camp as their roommates. But fortunately, they were placed in the same camp. Before the military training begins, Fan let Lu Dongyan. I stood in front of the girl in my row. I want to stand beside you. But military training cannot be disorganized if there is a noticeable height difference. Instead, they will be reassigned. Usually, the taller person stands on the right. Kaya how Fan and Lu Dongyan, between men and women, calculate the height for the same category separately. Just stand on the right side of the team, front and back. After the instructor arrived, adjusted the overall position again, because we need to align to the right. So those who are taller will stand on the right side, just as Fan expected. It turns out that neither I nor Lu Dongyan has been adjusted, still standing in the front and back rows. During military training, able to always look at the back of the little deer's head and the twin ponytails that can be swung while shaking her head, it can also be considered a form of enjoyment. It just triggers a bit of obsessive-compulsive disorder. I want to grab the twin ponytails. It feels good not to sway. The instructor briefly introduced himself. Begin the command to look right, look forward, adjust the formation, starting from standing at attention, march in step, running and walking, and so the military training began. Fan actually felt not tired. Although the skills from the previous life have faded for 10 years, but it can still be compared. It's much easier than before. This isn't Fan's life. Better physical fitness. It must be because over 70% of the students at the school are girls. So the content will be relatively lighter. But for Lu Dongyan, still a test. The content of military training is not difficult, but it will keep repeating and basking under the scorching sun, even after applying sunscreen. Water has also been replenished in advance. The girls still looked very tired. Fan looked at it with a bit of heartache, but said nothing. So many people are in military training. Lu Dongyan is his only one. But overall, it's not something special. No special treatment, without reason. What one can accomplish. He can definitely do it too. Our little dear. Not worse than anyone else. Lu Dongyan is also gritting his teeth and persevering. It looks like he is a glutinous rice dumpling. But deep down, I am quite competitive. I usually spend time with Fan. So it will be the soft and sticky side. Show it without reservation. When it really comes to a showdown, is very persistent. The doctor said he has it all remembered in his heart. In the years after Louis left, the only impressive academic achievement. It was because my mother was on her deathbed. Remind him to study hard. So I studied with all my might. In other aspects, all were in a state of self-destruction, making an already not so good body, made it even thinner. Now I know there is a small flaw. It may also be passed down to the baby. With Fan's guidance, they stepped out, more positive about life. Unchangeable, just leave it there and accept it. At least the physical condition can be changed. Just improve properly. Treat military training as it is the beginning of physical exercise. The little deer no longer feels tired. Finally, after another round of training, it's time for a break. In a sigh that lingered long and short, the students lined up orderly. Go to the green bag and get a bottle of water. Then return to your original position. Sit down and take a rest. Are you tired? Ifan didn't have time to drink water. Asked. It's okay. Lu Dongyan wiped away the glistening beads of sweat from Yi Jiao. She said with a light laugh, although it's quite tiring. But after exercising, there is a different kind of relaxation. Moreover, thinking of Hifan watching her from behind, it feels like I'm filled with energy, as long as you can adapt. Let's go. Hifan smiled and cheered him on. His happiness is very simple. Watching him get better little by little. This may seem somewhat insignificant, but Hifan knew clearly this is difficult for him, how important and precious it is. Becoming better and becoming worse. In fact, they all feel like negative forces. Perhaps change is just a little bit, but over time through accumulation, the final result presented, it will be an astonishing difference. So, any good habit, keep going. In a short time, perhaps the results are not visible, but as time goes by, you will surely reap great rewards. Rested for 10 minutes. Military training begins again. Preparation for sit-ups. 50 boys, 30 girls, before and after a set. I'm sorry, I can't assist with that. Running 5 laps around the soccer field due to overtime fatigue. The instructor's voice was incredibly loud. Start well, another one. It's quite interesting content compared to the previous military resources. March in step. Make it more interesting, but the same. It also comes with risks if it can't be completed in 5 minutes. It's time to go for a run. 5 laps is exactly 1 kilometer. To these academic elites, it is a great trial. 5 minutes time for doing 2 sets of sit-ups, not too short. But you should know, here we can take a break without stopping. Not much has been done. Most of the classmates, at first it was fine when it reached more than 10. After doing a few, I need to take a break. Lu Dongyan is the same. He is in front of Hifan, a total of 4 rows. Hifan is in the last row, the 2 who take it for granted. It became a group, with Hifan's help in pressing the foot. Xiao Lu is full of determination. Start doing sit-ups. 14, 15, 10. The 16th one didn't turn out. The girl then lay back, gasping heavily on the ground, feeling anxious and restless. If you are held back by yourself, it will only implicate Hifan. Ran together, but there is no intersection. It has no meaning. I just can't get up. Let's go. Do it again. Hifan said softly. He is not afraid of running in circles. Even let him follow. Let's exercise and go for a run together. No problem. Just worried. If the time exceeds. With Xiao Lu's personality, it will definitely be very frustrating. Feeling very guilty. Have to find a way. Let Xiao Lu within 4 minutes. Complete 30 sit-ups. 1 minute is enough for me. 3 minutes have passed. Time left for Lu Dongyan. There's only 1 minute left. 15 more sit-ups left. Hearing Hifan's voice, Lu Dongyan has regained some strength. 10, 16. The young girl crossed her hands over her heart. Once again, he struggled to get up. Suddenly, the temples felt a wave of warmth. Mo Dai Zeng Mu Yuan Zhen. Mo Dai's expedition of strategic planning. I saw He Fan's delicate face, pulled back a little. SHH. He Fan made a gesture for close combat. If the instructor finds out about this, I'm afraid I'm about to be taken to run laps now. Xiao Lu. Nod heavily. Getting excited. It's getting exciting. It's like eating a ton of dirt. More like He Fan being serviced. Lu Dongyan immediately got into a focused state. 17. 18. Every time I get up. Snow-white forehead. You will always encounter He Fan's mouth. It's like giving Lu Dongyan, continuously injecting energy. Let him do sit-ups tirelessly. 29. 30. Finally, Lu Dongyan completed the mission. The last 15 sit-ups. It only took 30 seconds, although it's not considered fast. But for him, it is already a significant breakthrough. I'll give you a foot massage. The little deer was out of breath. Clearly, this invigorating way of exercising, it can be overdrawn. Now he is. I just feel empty inside. No rush. You take a half-minute break first. But you need to do 50 of them. He Fan is a boy. Compete with girls. Do 20 more sit-ups. There's only a minute and a half left now. Lu Dongyan was very afraid of not being able to play with Fan. Feeling very guilty. Spent so much time on my own. It's really too cumbersome. Rest assured. Take a breath first. He Fan was neither hurried nor slow. Counted silently for 30 seconds. Finally lying down. Let Lu Dongyan step on his own foot. Then start doing sit-ups. His speed is not slow, but it's not particularly fast. The key point is the rhythm is very good. Control to 1 per second. Lu Dongyan was initially very worried, but as time goes by, He Fan has done nearly 40. Still, the face remains calm and the heart does not race. And the speed still hasn't slowed down. There are 20 seconds left. Only 10 left. He Fan, your lower back strength is impressive. The girls sincerely exclaimed in admiration. In an instant, He Fan's rhythm was disrupted. The last 10. He took less than 5 seconds. If following the original rhythm, He Fan finished 50. Still able to breathe steadily. But in the end, my heart was in turmoil. The rhythm also goes off track. No way out. No boy at all. Can be suppressed. Under the admiration of the girl he likes. Not showing oneself. Impressive, right? He Fan lay on the concrete floor. He smiled mischievously. Awesome. Finally, I don't have to run in circles anymore. This made Lu Dongyan feel much more at ease. It's not that he resists running laps. He had even planned it long ago. I have to run and exercise every day. But if it's because of oneself, He Fan far runs in circles. That concept is different, even though he knew he wouldn't mind. There will also be grievances in one's heart. Lu Dongyan is most afraid. The scariest thing. I just became He Fan's burden. The formation where He Fan is located. There was a small group of classmates. None of it was completed. After their morning military training, still need to run 5 more laps. Suddenly, my fists felt sticky. There are several girls. Her eyes turned red with grievance. At this moment, side formation. I also started doing sit-ups. But soon, all I heard was the instructor's furious roar. You in Chai, the first day of military training. You dare to defy the instructor? Hearing this scolding voice, He Fan was momentarily stunned, unconsciously turned to look. Yuan Jai is actually my roommate, a rather honest artist. How could you go against the instructor? I saw you and Jai in their formation, standing in the middle of the second row, and in front of him the girl standing. He fan looks a bit familiar. It was indeed Lu Dongyan's roommate. What is your name? I actually forgot. I don't want to be in a group with him. Yuan Jai still held his neck stiffly. He said in a low voice, "It's unbearable." Zio Wanyu's eyes were already red, wiping away tears with my arm. "Okay, then you go run laps now." 25 laps. Did not finish running before the military training ended in the morning. Just add 25 more laps. The instructor sternly commanded. Yuan Jai remained silent, walking silently toward the soccer field. Started running around the venue. Standard tracks are 400 meters per lap. 25 laps is equivalent to 10,000 meters. Now it's time for the military training to end in the morning. Less than an hour left. An ordinary person runs 10,000 meters. It's about this time. But Yuan Jai had trained in military drills for a whole morning after all. My stamina isn't as good as it used to be, but still ran silently. Does that person know Sister Wan Yu? Lu Dongyan whispered. She's not foolish either. Zio Wan Yu cried. It made her a bit uncomfortable, but it definitely has something to do with that person. Otherwise, there's no reason to refuse to team up with Zio Wanyu. I suppose so. That person is my roommate. We will each ask and find out by noon. He Fan and Lu Dongyan were thinking along similar lines. But it is only speculation that they know each other. After all, who really knows? But it's quite a coincidence. Both sides are exactly the roommates of myself and Lu Dongyan. You can ask at that time. It's not that He Fan is particularly gossipy. Is there any way I can help you, roommate? He doesn't mind helping. Of course, if Yuan Jai is unwilling to mention it. He Fan naturally wouldn't ask any more questions. I will ask Sister Wan Yu for clarification. Lu Dongyan values it much more than He Fan. He truly considers Zio Wan Yu a friend. After all, the delicate little path can distinguish clearly who truly treats themselves well. Zio Wan Yu had only known him for a few days. But it's still something. After the morning military training ended, Yuan Jai indeed did not finish 25 laps. The military training in the morning was exhausting. Only completed 20 laps until now. In this way, another 10,000 will be added this afternoon. However, Yuan Jai still had no expression, just in silence. Running in silence, Zio Wan Yu stood by the track with a pained expression, holding an unopened bottle of mineral water. Sister Wan Yu, what's wrong with you? Lu Dongyan approached. He Fan was not far behind him. Can't hear what these sisters are saying, but the guesses are pretty much close. Things are just as He Fan imagined. After Lu Dongyan talked with Zio Wan Yu, persuading him to go to a shady place was futile. He returned to He Fan's side, started to talk to him in detail. Indeed, these two had a period together in high school. They all come from Jiangcheng. Yuan Jai may not be handsome, but still very honest. Once on my way home from school, Zio Wan Yu was being harassed by a group of delinquents. It's quite a cliché, but when it truly happens to a young teenage girl, it is very charming. But Yuan Jai's family situation is not good. Zio Wan Yu is considered a very well-off second-generation rich. Less than a year. Yuan Jai, who had a strong sense of pride. As a result, Zio Wan Yu chased after him here. Then the scene of today unfolded. Should we help them? Lu Dongyan raised his little head to ask, He Fan. Let's go. Matters of the heart. We as outsiders cannot help. He Fan pulled Lu Dongyan and prepared to leave. If it's about other matters. He Fan can naturally help the most, but emotions are very complex. Just like some people, my lifelong dream is to find a wealthy woman, and someone like you in Jai, a combination of self-esteem, humility, and arrogance. He would be very concerned about the woman's overly favorable conditions. You can't say he was wrong. This is the result of a combination of the growing environment and many other factors. Want to change. Either change your mindset. Either become as rich as Zaya Wanyu, even richer. Besides these two, there is no other way. But no matter what is in the heart, still external. Where is that? Easily changeable. All right. Lu Dongyan pursed his lips. He really wants to help Zio Wanyu. But what He Fan said, definitely unconditionally trust, since he said he can't get involved. I suppose I want to help myself. Can't help either. Just as he turned around, a thud sounded from behind. Lu Dongyan silently turned around. I saw Zio Wanyu lying on the ground. Sister Wanyu. Lu Dongyan hurried over to check the situation. I just feel that the temperature of Zio Wanyu is very high. The lips are also a bit pale. This is clearly a symptom of heat stroke, training under the blazing sun for the whole morning. Adding to that, there are significant emotional fluctuations. The proud and willful young lady Zio Wanyu. I really can't stand this scorching sun anymore. Yuan Jai is still running headlong over there. They also discovered the situation here. He, who originally had little strength, instant acceleration, ran over wildly, holding Zio Wanyu. Just ran to the school infirmary. Sister Wanyu will be fine, right? Lu Dongyan originally wanted to go back, but He Fan stood still in place, and then stopped in his tracks. Just a mild heat stroke. Just take a break. Let them be alone together. Let's go. Let's go eat. I think this is a good time for Zio Wanyu to suffer from heat stroke. Sometimes the relationship has become strained. Just need every opportunity to break the ice. Although heat stroke is uncomfortable, but after all, it's slight. It's considered a small price to pay, to exchange for the opportunity of relationship progress. As for what the final outcome will be, it all depends on the fate of the two. School cafeteria. This is still the first time He Fan and Lu Dongyan came to eat. When I was in high school, completely different concepts. There are many windows here. The dishes are also varied. After making the selection, can all use the campus card. Directly swipe the card to deduct money. What do you want to eat? He Fan is holding on to. Lu Dongyan. A week in the cafeteria. There are many options to choose from. You make the decision. Lu Dongyan originally had a bit of a decision-making disorder. If it were just him alone, then just choose randomly. Being with He Fan, he hopes for everything, all under his complete control. Then let's have steamed dishes from the West. He Fan thought for a moment. Say, potato starch steamed meat, black bean fish, steamed green peppers, steamed egg custard, because the steamed dishes are served in small bowls. So, 2 people order 4 dishes. Can also finish eating, especially after working hard all morning. The appetite has increased even more. Dan He Fan and Lu Dongyan, they are still following the rules of the game. Although I really want to feast heartily, yet it still remains unswallowed in my mouth. I won't take a second bite. It's not as delicious as what you make. He Fan took a few bites after. Said, even when very hungry, flavor enhancement. But it can still be clearly felt. There's a gap between my cooking and Lu Dongyan's. Zio Luo felt sweet and happy inside. Nothing matters more than He Fan's approval. It's even more joyful. From then on, I do it every day. Give me a call." Ifan interrupted Lu Dongyan's words. He curled his lips. "I found you to be my wife. It's not for me to be a chef." Lu Dongyan was startled. "Old wife?" Her cheeks were like red cherry tomatoes. The heart is wrapped in sweetness. The little head shook like a wave drum. "I'm not someone's wife. No, no, no." As Xiao Luo shook his head, two pigtails also started to swing continuously. Ifan, who has severe obsessive-compulsive disorder, can't hold back again. I want to hold onto his twin tails tightly. "You fouled again." Ifan captured it. When Xiao Luo swung her ponytail, the head is in a state of blood circulation. Subconsciously, he happily ate a few more bites. After all, it's been so many years of eating habits. If it weren't intentional, it cannot be completely changed in just 2 days. HMPH, your punishment has lost all its effect. Xiao Lu waved his hand dismissively. Ifan was speechless. Indeed, only the undiscovered flaws. That's considered a loophole. After the discovery, it can only self-repair. Of course, it's not the flaws that are being fixed. It is about enduring the unknown. But anyway, Lu Dongyan didn't take the punishment too seriously. Yet they still began to eat seriously. He's not stupid either. He knows that Ifan is doing this for his own good. Of course, I will maintain good habits. The so-called punishment and reward. Just able to be in life. Add some fun to each other. I'll accompany you to the school clinic later." He tossed a piece of steamed pork into his mouth. Said, good. All right. Thank you. Lu Dongyan and Tuyar are close. Before, Ifan didn't go along. He didn't go after all. But I am still very worried about Xiao Wanyu. During mealtime, there is also a bit of distraction. Ifan figured it out. I didn't want to disturb that lovesick couple, but seeing Lu Dongyan felt a bit restless. Ifan still decided, take him to see Xiao Wanyu. Otherwise, Ifan would never go there. He had no intention of advising Yuan Jai. Ifan did not have this experience. I don't have that ability either. A relationship wants to be smooth, even if one is in the midst of it. It also requires a second life as a person, just barely pulling Dongyan out of the shadows. Moreover, being an outsider, where can one easily intervene and change the current situation? After eating, Ifan dispersed the time a bit, took Lu Dongyan to the school infirmary. Unexpected. There are quite a few students in the infirmary. Those who can attend a normal university generally have good grades. Pressure of high school studies. The lack of physical exercise. Let these classmates. During my first experience with such strict military training, there may be some discomfort. If you can't hold on. I came to the infirmary to drink the revitalizing tonic. Find Xiaoyu's hospital bed. She doesn't have much to do now. I have emerged from the symptoms of depression, just still in sleep. Yuan Jai has been by my side all along. Seeing Ifan and Lu Dongyan enter, he immediately got up, walking towards the infirmary. "Fan Ji, could you do me a favor? Don't say I brought her here. Yuan Jai Ifan. He doesn't want to show himself. Talk to my roommate about the situation with Xiao Wenyu. But now at least Ifan can no longer hide it." "Okay, no problem." Ifan nodded. "Thank you." Yuan Jai let out a soft sigh, exited the medical room. Just a minute after he went out, Xiao Wanyu's delicate brows slightly furrowed, suddenly opened his eyes, seeing Lu Dongyan by the bedside with a concerned expression. "Yan Yan, Sister Wanyu, you just suffered from heat stroke. It's my roommate Yuan Jai. Carried you to the infirmary, He Fan added. Lu Dongyan was still feeling anxious. Should we go then? Secretly tell Xiao and you. After all, it was just He Fan agreeing to his roommate. It has nothing to do with me. Is the result good? Good boyfriend sells out teammates. So decisive after all. Xiao Wenyu's eyes were somewhat weary. It suddenly brightened. Wai Wei propped herself up. Look around for a week. Yet there was no sign of Yuan Jai. He laid back down, feeling a bit disappointed. I am in the hallway. He Fan also found it difficult to act in front of Xiao Wenyu, being close with Lu Dongyan. Isn't that just adding to someone's frustration? Sigh. This is also one of the reasons I didn't want to come. It's simply wasting my time with Xiao Lu. Arriving in the corridor outside the ward. Find a seat and sit down. He Fan suddenly smiled. Felt strange in my heart. It is also very interesting, from the perspective of an old married couple. But why does every day feel like being in love? Was it that I was assimilated by Xiao Lu? He Fan felt, after guiding Landing Dongyan to become better and better. It seems I have a fondness for him. Is also continuously increasing. Can't wait. Staying close to him every moment. Just right. Just thinking about it. Lu Dongyan walked out of the hospital room. Aren't you going to stay with him for a while? He Fan raised his gaze to inquire, although she hoped for Lu Dongyan to accompany her. But after all, it's rare to make a friend. So, there will be no complaints. Sister Wang Yu said I should continue to accompany him. He is about to get angry. Lu Dongyan held He Fan's hand, walking towards the infirmary exit. While speaking, both of them knew in their hearts. Xiao Wenyu also didn't want to disturb their time together. She is indeed a very considerate girl. The autumn is crisp and refreshing. The warm afternoon breeze brushed by. I love this kind of weather the most. He Fan squinted his eyes, feeling wrapped in the warmth of the breeze. I love this kind of weather. You are here. The young girl leaned against He Fan's chest. There is sunlight. There is a gentle breeze. There is also He Fan. Perhaps, in this world, can't find anything more enjoyable. Feeling tired, aren't you? Take a nap. I don't want to go back to the dormitory. Can't see you at all. The rental house is a 20-minute round trip. There are only half an hour left until military training. Lu Dongyan pouted. He is a bit tired, because I need to make breakfast. So usually I wake up at 6 o'clock. If it were everyday life, it wouldn't be tiring either. But today is military training. It's considered high-intensity exercise. There are always some matters that can't be ignored. We won't go to the dormitory. I won't return to the rental house either. He Fan led Xiao Lu to the printing house. Sat down on the spot, holding the girl in his arms. Let her sit on his lap, holding her hand with his left hand. His right hand wrapped around her waist. Right hand holding the back of the neck. Adjust as much as possible. The best sleeping positions. Her voice was soft. I am your bed. Pillow. Quilt. It's good that at this moment, the sun is hiding half of itself, under the gentle breeze and the shade of the trees. Let the temperature drop slightly. It's not like holding each other will be too hot. You don't be so nice to me. The young girl's face was flushed. He Fan's words and actions. Let her feel warm from the outside to the very core. Light. He Fang pinched her chubby little face. She is thinking all the time. How can I treat her better? I've said it before. Love is like a mountain peak. If we reached the peak so quickly, from then on it will always be downhill. The case of the young girl's subtle scheme, although it is due to the inner unease, but also because of external factors. After all, there are too many examples. All are being performed. After the passionate love, it's all chaos. Lu Dongyan boasts of himself. The feelings for He Fan are unwavering, but still afraid of being too in love. She will cool down. The height of the mountain peak. Indeed, it is limited. He Fan lowered his gaze on the chubby face of the young girl, took a breath. The voice is soft. But my affection for you is like the sky. The sky is infinite. The young girl adjusted herself. The eyes are a bit red. Sigh. I won't say it any more. Be good, be good. Sleep well, Lu baby. He Fan gently reached out to brush away the faint shadow at the corner of her eye, gently embracing her. It's like comforting a child. The love-struck mind is easily moved. Xiao Lu trembled slightly. Cover your little face. Zhang heavily stamped a seal on He Fan's profile. The warm sun shines through the mottled branches, sprinkled in the girl's shallow dimples. Xiao Lu gently closed his eyes. Time seems to freeze at this moment. Afternoon military training. Lu Dongyan had restored his spirit. I don't feel very tired. After adapting for a whole morning, he has already been able to cope. This level of training. Humans are highly adaptable creatures. Moreover, Lu Dongyan is just physically weak. There is no significant major illness. With practice, things will get better and better. Xiao Wenyu is still resting in the infirmary. Today will not come again. Whereas you and I is to continue running headlong on the track. The number of rounds of family law enforcement. After the afternoon military training ended, He Fan and Lu Dongyan arrived at the supermarket. Starting from today, we will begin the investigation. But the dormitory curfew is 9:30, so it's perfectly fine to have dinner at home. The midday rush is intense. The evening feels more relaxed. Can do it myself. When I was with Lu Dongyan, cooking doesn't feel troublesome, but rather a kind of enjoyment. To be more precise, as long as he is by my side, trivialities and little things in life. Completing it will also be very fulfilling and joyful. Tonight, I'll make something delicious for you. He Fan walks through the vegetable market, choosing vegetables at the stall. Today, the little dear is very tired, so we should reward him properly. Not only do we need to eat well, he doesn't need to take action yet. I cooked. Lu Dongyan was stunned for a moment. Cooking is my own job. How can I get He Fan to come? This is not in the mind. What makes a virtuous wife and good mother? The idea of having to cook. But he enjoys cooking. I prefer watching He Fan. I enjoy eating the dishes I make myself. Today's punishment for you. You're not allowed to cook. You are not allowed to use your own hands to eat. He Fan selected good potatoes and onions. Add to cart. Said, no, no eating with your hands. Is it possible? Do you want me to eat with my feet? Lu Dongyan lowered his gaze. I can't do it. No, no. My hand. With my hands. I'll feed you. He rubbed his face. How is the brain circuit managed? I still want to eat with my feet. I don't have such treatment. Slipped away. The girl's face broke into a sweet smile. This can be considered a punishment. It's not scary at all. The rewards are all the same. Suddenly, Lu Dongyan then thought of rewarding oneself should happen before making mistakes. He Fan forces himself to commit a foul. Instantly speculated, is today meant for you too? He committed a serious foul. Repeated violations dozens or even hundreds of times. Then punish myself fiercely again. Is it heavily punished dozens or hundreds of times? Thinking of this point, the fawn trembled slightly. Breathing became heavier. What are you standing there for? Keep up. He Fan went to hold his hand. Lu Dongyan felt as if he had been electrocuted. I feel completely drained of energy. Come back to reality from the fantasy. The red eyelids drooped, led gently by He Fan. Following behind him, didn't even ask He Fan, "What should I make to eat for myself?" He just likes not having to ask anything. The feeling that he calls the shots. Chose the finest chicken drumsticks again, Huation, and some seasonings. He Fan settles the bill. Serve the dishes. Leading Lu Dongyan home. He Fan was busy in the kitchen. Lu Dongyan's tiptoeing, waiting at the back to gaze at the snowy scenery. There is always a kind of the feeling of having one's position taken over. But looking at He Fan's serious and busy figure, Lu Dongyan couldn't help but curl his lips into a smile. After blanching the chicken legs, cut into small pieces and marinate. Potato, onion, kenkai, cut everything into pieces and set aside. Heat up the wok. Pour in the cooking oil. Wait for the oil to heat up. Sauté the scallions, ginger, and garlic until fragrant. Add more spicy chili peppers. Cinnamon, fragrant stir fry. Then add the marinated chicken legs and stir fry. Stir fry until the chicken thigh meat is slightly golden. At this moment, add an appropriate amount of cooking wine. By 10. Hamu. Light soy sauce. Dark soy sauce. Wait for a series of seasonings. Then add clear water and simmer on low heat for a while. Add the pre-cut ingredients. Simmer on low heat for a while longer. Turn up the heat to reduce the sauce. Huang Men Jai My Fan. Completed. He Fan lifted the pot lid. The fragrance instantly wafted out. Lu Dongyan was shouting outside the kitchen. Once again I started to gaze around with a rolling throat. The stewed Huai Shan and pork bone soup is ready. Sprinkle some scallions. Suddenly a fragrant aroma filled the air. It's time to eat. Place the braised chicken on top of the rice. Brought out from the kitchen. Seeing the young girl Meng Cancan's appearance, He Fan also felt very satisfied. Make delicious food for the one you like. It just makes people happy. The logic is very simple. Food can lift people's spirits. The person I like is in a good mood. Nature will follow suit. Moreover, it's because of the delicious food I make that I become better. It's simply an infinite loop. Good on top of good, unbeatable good. In short, this is the moment when we are feeding the little deer. He Fan's mood. Anna, a spoonful is filled. Rice with broth, sent into the girl's mouth. The captivating sexual plot immediately narrowed his eyes. Almost doesn't need to bite. Soft and sticky rice soaked in yellow braised chicken sauce. Just a slight sip. The fragrance mixed together, exploding on the taste buds. So delicious. The little deer hasn't finished eating yet. Then open your mouth again. Savor every bite. Finish eating what's in your mouth first. Did you forget the little game? He Fan pinched a grain of rice from the corner of his mouth. Said, Lu Dongyan was taken aback for a moment. I haven't forgotten about the little game. I remember it clearly. Is it just simply feeding? Never thought about forcing a fowl. Are you here to punish yourself? A little disappointment. Soon vanished without a trace. Because Huang Men Jai My Fan is just too delicious. Whether it's chicken or rice, or it could be a potato. The aroma blends together perfectly. Every bite is a delight, especially with He Fan's feeding buff in play. Lu Dongyan felt that every bite of food was so delicious it took his breath away. loved to the deepest point. Take a sip of the soup. He Fan scooped a spoonful of soup with a ladle. There is still a small piece of Huai Shan in the spoon. There is still a small piece of pork bone meat, and a sprinkle of green onions. This can also be seen as a manifestation of obsessive compulsive disorder. While drinking soup, with each scoop down, every ingredient in the soup needs to have a little bit. This is what makes me feel fulfilled, even if it's to feed Lu Dongyan. This habit cannot be changed either. The young girl savored the Huai Shan pork bone soup. The taste is very light. He Fan only added a little salt. The salt in the soup is too much. Not only unhealthy, it will also interfere with its own fragrance and freshness. He Fan, you did really well. Very strong. Great. So impressive. Lu Dongyan suddenly realized. He Fan's cooking is so delicious. So, although there are difficult tickets and hunger bonuses, but it must still be acknowledged that He Fan's cooking skills are quite good. Therefore, he hasn't noticed much yet. After all, He Fan rarely cooks, and it was made when Lu Dongyan didn't know how to cook. After that, most of the cooking is done by Ms. Lai, or eat outside. He Fan has never cooked before. Only after I understood cooking myself, Lu Dongyan finally realized He Fan is cooking. Really impressive. That is, I also had a master who taught me. Your master seems to have become an aunt too. No wonder. He Fan smiled without speaking. My master is definitely not my mom. It's you silly. It's just like catching a toy in a claw machine. These are actually all part of Lu Dongyan's talent. After he learned it himself, after getting married, He Fan only learned a little bit. So, now in terms of culinary skills, only then will Lu Dongyan easily surpass. A bowl of braised chicken rice. He was completely taken care of by He Fan. Both sides discover. It seems like throwing food. Neither side will commit a foul, because it's one bite per person. As I took another bite, food in the mouth, just swallowed it down. So full. I can't drink this sugar anymore. Lu Dongyan patted his little belly. I made a fragrant beige. So, only half a bowl of soup is left. Mousie is a bit gloomy. He Fan, can you still drink? I don't want to fall over. Such a waste. The weather is very hot. The soup doesn't need to be left overnight. If left for a while, it will go bad. It's also strange that He Fan feels unfamiliar. If it were Lu Dongyan cooking, there will definitely be no leftovers. He always manages to get the proportions just right. When the two of them had eaten their fill, the plate is nearly empty. He Fan also made a move. If it were in the past, he must have just thrown it away. But the few months spent with Lu Dongyan, he has also grown. Sorry, I can't assist with that. There is a way to finish drinking it. Immediately, He Fan's hair stood on end, holding a mouthful of soup. A delicate face, rapidly magnified in the girl's eyes, silenced him without further ado. Huai Shan and copper bone soup added a hint of sweetness. Lu Dongyan enjoyed the brief suffocation, and the heartbeats stopped. Next, it's my turn. The girl's cheeks glowed a bright red, resembling that of a cherry tomato, imitating and following suit. As time goes by, the remaining half bowl. The soup has already been finished. The bowls and chopsticks have not been cleaned by anyone. The heads and tails of each other continue. Lu Beabo. Bun. He Fan stared at the one who stuck to him. Lu Dongyan, unwilling to let go, gently ruffling his messy hair. The bowls haven't been washed yet. It's almost 9 o'clock. In half an hour, just closed the door to the room. After a while it became tiresome. It's almost done. The dishes are washed. Ifa conveniently washed his face, that little one patting its belly. The well-fed little dear. The result gnawed at his face for quite a while. At this moment, I'm afraid I've just washed my face. It can also be seen. Marks of nibbles. Taking a step closer in our relationship. Ifan has no psychological burdens at all. Don't say in this lifetime. In both lifetimes, it has always been him. It's still during military training. Let's take a break for now, even if it's just a little bit of sweetness for a while. It's also very sweet. Turn off the lights and power before leaving. Kaienjuo Lu Dongyan walks in the evening breeze, looking at the brightly lit campus. Ifan's lips curved slightly. The girl's face was also filled with smiles. There isn't anything particularly worth being happy about, but both are within each other's magnetic field. It's just being happy for no reason. At the intersection of the boys' and girls' dormitories, the two waved goodbye. Ifan stood still in place, watching the small figure of Lu Dongyan leave, walking up the stairs. And the girl's heart is intuitively connected. Immediately arrived at the edge of the corridor, Ifan waved his little hand towards the outside of the dormitory courtyard. Halban reluctantly returned to the dormitory. Lu Dongyan opened the door. Seeing Zio Wanyu has returned from the infirmary. At this moment I was lying on the bed. Went to bed early. In the corner of her eye there are two more dried tear marks. Upon seeing this, the sweet smile on her small face. Some have also dispersed. Yanin, Sister Wanyu cried again. Sun Ting adjusted her oversized round glasses. A face with a few freckles. Looks a bit dull. Yes. How long did it take her to fall asleep? Lu Dongyan whispered. When I returned to my dorm after dinner. It is 6 o'clock. Sister Wanyu is already asleep. Sun Ting pondered for a while. Speak. Sorry, I can't assist with that. They should wake up soon. Lu Dongyan's palms were slightly sweaty. People can't sleep. It is also limited. Zio Wanyu slept for so long during the day, returning in the evening. Still hasn't woken up until now. It won't be long now. You will wake up. As the girl expected. About a quarter of an hour passed. Zio Wanyu's blanket stirred. Then she gently opened her eyes. Immediately following that, I was startled. Her eyes widened in an instant, meeting the gazes of Ming Mang and Dai, Lu Dongyan and Sun Ting. They are all standing on the safety escalator, deep black eyes, staring straight at Zio Wanyu. Let her heart tremble, while falling asleep. These two children just keep standing here and staring. This gaze. Déjà vu. I warn you both. No more scratching. I didn't cry. I am very happy. Zio Wanyu was scared last time. People are almost exhausted. Sun Ting was like a merciless scratching machine. Before she smiles to exhaustion, it simply won't stop. Lu Dongyan and Sun Ting exchanged a glance. From each other's eyes, they read out the same information. Sister Wanyu's situation. It seems quite serious. Thus, the two people were already happy. Without further ado, then she dove into Zio Wanyu's phrase.